Hello, and welcome to this week's live timeline session. For this one, we are on session 7 from the Mastery Timeline. Hold on, this might be a little loud. Let me adjust my camera angle a little bit. Okay, that's a little better. For this one, for people who don't know, these timeline sessions are working through the timelines from the Next Generation Clarinet method. The Next Generation Clarinet method is my method book/program that I wrote, and these timelines sort of tell you what exercises to do and what order to do them in, depending on your current skill level. So right now I'm doing the mastery timeline, which is actually more of the sort of intermediate level because it's all about mastering the fundamentals. It's been a great time so far. I really feel like my fundamentals are getting a good refresh and really sort of building things together and getting everything going. And today is the 7th session of it. And what we're going to be doing is, again, our daily warm-up, the same daily warm-up that we've been doing. As you're working through the timeline sessions or the timelines, I recommend that you do the daily warm-up every single day that you practice. You're going to get very good. I just counted, I think it's like 7 to 9 or so days of the daily warm-up in this session. So you're going to get really good at these exercises and get lots of repetitions. And if you can go deeper and deeper and deeper with the quality on those sessions, then you're going to be in great shape. So let's go ahead and get started with some scale long tones. And let me set my timer. I'm going with the recommended times in the timeline to see how that feels. I think it's been pretty good so far. And we're off with some scale long tones to start warming up. And I'm just being really picky about how it's starting and the sound quality that I'm getting because that's the point of these, and the deeper and pickier you can be about them, the more you're going to get out of them. If you can't play your scale long tones perfectly and beautifully, then you're never going to play your music perfectly and beautifully. And in the interest of being really picky, and to sort of spice it up a little bit actually, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my tuner and also see how I'm doing intonation-wise on the same C major scale long tones. First, I'm just starting by sort of seeing where I'm at, seeing if I need to adjust anything. And I am a little bit sharp, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull out a little bit. Okay, I think that was a little bit too much. And that C is always a little bit sharp for me, so I'm going to use a drone, and so I can hear where I'm landing, where I'm trying to land. So I'm droning the B flat, and then I'm going to play, or the C, and I'm going to play D, C, and see if I can land on that concert B flat that I'm hearing. Let me turn that up just a little bit. So hopefully that wasn't too loud to have that drone going, but you can see how there's all kinds of different ways to get creative, and that was perfect timing because the time is up on the long tones, which means we're moving on to technique. I'm going to do number 1 of the finger flexibility, the stepwise motion, and I think I am going to start at the beginning. I think I'll have enough time to make it all the way through. And I'm going to go ahead and do this with the metronome. Let me know in the comments if the metronome and the drone is too obnoxious. I'm going to work on speeding this one up a little bit now because I've been doing it quite a few times now and starting to feel comfortable. So now I'm going to, again, get picky for the quality, but also get creative about how I can continue to challenge myself and get more depth and more out of these exercises. And on this one, I'm paying really close attention to my pinky and my finger motion. Doing it in a mirror or a video can be really good for this. You can see my ring fingers moving just a little bit as I shift the pinky. I think it's okay. I want that motion to be as minimal as possible, but I did it as best as I could, and I think that's good progress for today. On to the next measure. And on this one, I'm trying my hardest to, again, keep the fingers really relaxed, and as I move each pinky, not let that influence any of the other ones, and also keep the good sound quality. That's really important. As you're like speeding up or working with the tuner or drones or changing things around, it can be easy to sort of let the sound quality slide a little bit, but always go for that as much as you can. Next measure. this one, I was moving my body around a little bit because I move my body around a lot when I'm playing, and I wanted to make sure that I could keep that good quality and good stability of the instrument, even as I was moving around a little bit, keeping the angle and the pressure on the fingers as much of the same as possible. Now, especially if you have the book and you're following along, you may notice that I just went completely different than what is written on the page. Instead of just repeating one measure, I started doing two measures. I did those two measures up and down. I worked on different individual things. And that's a perfect example of how you can sort of adapt these exercises to what you need to be working on and again, get more out of them, go deeper with them. This whole right hand action here is just something that I'm really working on to have great stability. And I felt like I was getting the stability really easily when I was just sort of doing one alternation at a time. So I wanted to move through it and see if as I sort of got closer to that normal chromatic scale motion, if I could keep good control. And again, just building in the muscle memory of perfectly relaxed, really, really, really easy playing. And you probably heard my timer go off, so that was good timing for the technique. And now we are on to the articulation, which is just the very simple scale articulation, going for very, very, very good quality. I also recommend doing this one with the metronome. I'm not sure how obnoxious the metronome is over the live stream or not. The metronome's pretty close to the microphone, so it might be quite obnoxious, so definitely let me know in the comments. For now, I'll leave the metronome off on this one because it's easy enough to be really steady, and I'm going to be shifting my focus a little bit more towards sound quality. Yes, rhythmic precision is important for articulation exercises, but you can sort of go at it both ways with like really good quality articulation, sound quality, thinking about how the tongue is coming on and off, and that feels a little bit more like a long tone and out of time, or you can be like really precise about the tongue motion and all of that stuff. So here we go for some articulation. have water in my register key. That's been happening sometimes lately, which is weird. It's a good idea to take the register key off every now and then and put like just a little pipe cleaner in the register tube to keep that cleaned out. And that usually keeps it from accumulating spit and moisture, which I have done that recently, but I'm still getting spit in there. And again, this is just 1 octave the way it's written, but I'm going to go ahead and take it 2 octaves just to get, again, more practice with it. And this probably sounds completely boring to listen to, but that's part of the point. I'm trying to make every single note sound exactly the same, which yes, is kind of boring to listen to, but if you can make everything perfect and perfectly even and smooth and steady, whether it's the long tones being smooth and steady, the technique being perfectly in time, or the articulation with every note sounding exactly the same, very, very nicely in rhythm, then you can get any variety that you want. It's kind of a weird thing where if you can do it with no variety at all, then it means you have enough control to manage all of the variables and make sure that it's going exactly the way that you want. So then you can add in whatever variety and expression and contrast that you want in the music to make it interesting later. But getting that sort of almost boring to listen to quality where it's just all very, very, very static is a great place to start and to be working towards. So sorry if it's boring to listen to. Also, if you are listening to it and enjoying me playing through these timeline sessions, I very much would appreciate if you hit the like button so I know that you are enjoying this kind of stuff, so that I can know to continue doing these things, because yeah, it may be a little bit boring to listen to, but I think there's some valuable things to get out of it. And my timer went off, which means we are on to the next bit, which is the actual session. So let me go ahead and pull that up and read to you what our focus is for today. So we are on over the break long tones, and what I say for the purpose of this one and the focus on this one is navigating the break of the clarinet is important, and these long tones will help you to do that. Though there is a written rhythm in long tones, and long tones only, getting a great sound and connections is more important than perfect rhythm. Transpose this to several different keys, see page 47 for information about transposing, or use the All Keys companion guide in the members area to get comfortable playing this in several, if not all, keys. So let me go ahead and pull up page 34 with the over the break long tones, and we'll get into those. Awesome. So these over the break long tones, pretty simple, but it's all about getting a very, very smooth connection. It starts with that sort of you play the low note, then you press the register key to get up to the high note, and then I kind of have a unique pattern of going back down to the low note that gives you some more long tone exercise and more long tones to work through there. So let's go ahead and give the over the break long tones a try. It's written in C major and A minor, but I'm just sort of gonna transpose it on the fly through other keys and really dive into these long tones. I actually liked this a lot more than I thought I would last time, where I'm doing 15 minutes on just like one or two long tone exercises. I found that I sort of really got into the zone and got into that flow state as I went through it. I don't normally spend quite that much time on long tones, so it was a good exercise. So I'm looking forward to this actually. And even the very first start, I want to be really, really good. So one of my favorite things to think about for long tones are trying to make it feel like the listener doesn't realize the note has changed. What I mean by that is sometimes we have other things that come across that make it obvious the note has changed. There's like a little pause or a little bit of like a ta, that makes it obvious that the note has changed. My goal for long tones, again, like I was talking about in the articulation, where everything is just so steady and so precise and so unvaried that the listener might be listening along. The note changes, there's nothing to cue that the note has changed, and then the listener's like, oh, wait, is this a different note that we're on? Let me see if I can sort of demonstrate that. So I think at the start it was a little bit clunkier, like you could hear like you can maybe even hear that key clunking as it went down, and that was a perfect example of where like that's a cue that the note has changed that has nothing to do and with the note changing and not something we need. But I think at the end there, like the C, B, and the D to C, those steps that are a little bit easier to coordinate, had that pretty good smooth connection where it's just like, oh, it's a new note, it's a new pitch, but I didn't hear the note change per se. Anyways, on to the next A minor now. Another way to think of this, like not noticing that the notes are changing, and it's something that I hear a lot in like the recordings of Robert Marcellus and Harold Wright and like those old, really, really, really great clarinet players that we all really look up to their sound quality and their legato, is that I don't want to be able to tell if I'm playing a note below the break or over the break or when I'm crossing the break. There's some recordings of Marcellus where he's playing like it feels like a 3-octave like arpeggio, and I have no idea where it's changing registers because it's just like every single note feels all identical, and that's the goal of these. And again, if you can't do it on this, then you're not going to have any chance of doing it on more complicated music. And pretty much the best quality that you get on the simple exercises, or whatever the quality that you get on the simple exercises, is the best quality you could ever hope for on the more complex exercises. So really go for the quality, always, always, always. Um, I'm going to sort of skip around through the keys. I'm not going to go around the circle of fifths or chromatically or anything like that, because I think I probably actually don't have enough time to get all of the keys. So I'm just going to sort of skip around. Let's go ahead and do D major next. And when we're going for the super smooth sound quality, we really think about the air and embouchure a lot, but don't underestimate the impact of the fingers on perfectly smooth transitions. I'm experimenting with actually how fast and how I'm pressing the register key, because I think there's some differences there. Let me see if I can turn to the side so you can see it. I'm going to try something actually with the camera angle so maybe you can see my fingers. This might be a little loud. Oh, never mind. It won't let me do it. But I might try next time and see if I can do the orientation the other way so you can see my fingers. Normally that doesn't work well on YouTube, but maybe since I'm streaming from my phone, it might. Anyways, let's do a flat key. Let's see. That would be fun. Yeah, let's do A flat major. then here I can actually decide if I want to do the lower octave F or the higher octave F. Let me go with the higher one to make it a little bit more challenging. And since the A flat was so low, I'll have some contrast there, some balance. Got that spit again. I just had an extra low arpeggio there. Let me see how much time I have left. Okay, I have 2 minutes. I can do another key. Let's see. Sort of working our way around each side. Let's do a lot of sharps. How about not B, because that has A flat. That's the same. Oh, let's do D flat. Even though that's just one click around the circle, that'll be a good sort of range one. I'm experimenting with that B flat to try to get it to match the C as best as I can. And that was perfect timing on that one. So that's the session for today. Yeah, it felt really good. I didn't make it through all of the keys, so I could certainly revisit this session or this exercise and continue working through the other keys. Sorry if that's loud. I always forget to take my pencil to write on out before I start this. But yeah, that's the session for today. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'm going to fill out my reflection. And what I'm going to do in the sort of progress is I'm just going to actually list the keys that I did it in. So let's see, what did I do? C major and A minor. Then I did D major, B minor. And then I did A flat major and F minor. And last but not least, I did D flat major and B flat minor. So those are the keys that I've done today. If I was going to revisit this, I could do the other keys that I didn't get to today. And I think that's a really great thing and a really smart thing to do if you're working through this session or this timeline on your own. Maybe even now you could do another 15-minute session and continue working through those other keys, just building that in. And I think a lot of times we think it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to play something like this in all of the keys, but if you just sort of keep working through it, you'll get there. going through all of the keys is not the top priority. The top priority is those super duper smooth connections. I certainly could have played through all of the keys in 15 minutes, no problem on this exercise, but I wanted to go very, very slow, be really listening to the quality, making adjustments. I did a lot of intervals more than once. Maybe it even sounded fine, but I repeated it because it didn't feel great, or there was just a little something that I heard that I thought could be better, or I just felt like I got lucky, like it went really well, but I didn't feel like I was in control of making it go well. So those are all ways that you can go deeper and deeper into this stuff and get more out of it. And remember, the more perfectly you can do this stuff, the better chance you have of doing these same kinds of things perfectly in the music. So good luck working through these timelines if you're working along with me. If you don't have the next generation clarinet method to work through this, go to quickstartclarinet.com/nextgenbook and get it. You can also see the links in the descriptions for that. Honestly, as I'm playing through this, I just think this is even more and more valuable because there's so much benefit I'm getting from it. Even though I've done lots of these exercises before, it's great to be reviewing and refreshing these things. So definitely get this if you don't have it. If you do have it, then do it, because listening to me practice is nice and fun, but it's not nearly as productive as you doing it yourself and practicing. So now that you know how to do it, go for it. Good luck, and I will see you not next week. I have a concert next week, so I won't be able to do the live stream next week, but I'll see you in 2 weeks for the next session of the Mastery Timeline.